was married, and I realized, or my husband had to tell me that he had been taking money out of our accounts. And
Hello, everyone. Elle Ballard is here today on the Women of the World Network Choreograph Success with my beautiful guest, Caterina Rando. Hi, Caterina.
hi, my friend, always good to be with you.
Great to be with you always. Thank you for joining us. Caterina is a woman on a mission to uplift the lives of women everywhere through Thrive Entrepreneurship. She's an author, sought after speaker, podcaster, and business transformation coach who, for over 30 years, passionately serves women leaders and entrepreneurs to massively monetize their mastery. Love it. Welcome. I'm one of those women who am very thankful for your guidance. Great to be here with you, Carolina. And based on what I've just, shared and introduced, can you share with us how this all started for you? And how did you choose this lane for you in your
Yeah.
business and your life?
Well, I'm born on March 8th, which is International Women's Day.
Yes, how amazing.
And I do feel that I was divinely appointed for my life work, which is to uplift women through entrepreneurship, to support them in creating economic power for themselves and their families and the communities, because really economic power is a big part of freedom, and
Yeah.
freedom to make choices, freedom to do what we want. And my first business was I owned a cafe and a catering business, and I was trying to figure out what was I going to do with my life. This is in my late 20s. And one day this gal walked in my cafe and she said, "Thank you for all the advice I had given her while she would pop in the cafe." And she said, Katerina, it really made a difference in my business. Her smile was so big and her gratitude was coming out so much that I literally felt a pang of bliss in my chest. And I thought, that's what I'm going to do with my life. And I had a coach who thought I would make a good coach, which is very funny, Elle, because at the time I was, shy and insecure. But I guess I was a good listener. My dad tells me that the kids in my neighborhood would come ask me for advice when I was a kid. So, yeah, so
Started that early. I love
I
that.
really did. And I think part of it is, I'm an encouraging person, and
Yeah.
we don't really talk about it enough. Encouragement is an important part of success. Having people see us, encourage us, all of that. And anyway, I got certified as a coach. I finished my master's in counseling psychology, and I hung out my shingle, so to speak. But you know what, Elle, when you have a cafe, all you got to do is turn on the lights and open the door, and the people come in. But when you have your own business, mostly working from home, a lot of us, it's not the same. And so that's when I started to speak. And, I love to speak. I've had the privilege of speaking at your conference. And
Yes, it was
and
amazing.
yeah, and so most of my clients over the last many years have come from speaking. And I do want to encourage women to amplify their voice,
Yeah.
because when people resonate with our message, they're going to resonate with us. They're going to want to come talk to us.
I love that. I love that. And I just learned some parts of your story that I haven't heard before. So thank you for sharing that. How awesome. How beautiful. Yeah. And I so agree. And yeah, and yeah, it's so beautiful when we just share and openly and just being able to share freely, unapologetically, right? So important. Thank you for leading that work. Was there a point in your journey where something shifted, a pattern, or maybe there was a challenge, or inner belief was shifting or question? What was that
Well,
experience?
there's been no shortage of setbacks, Al, at different times.
Yeah.
I mean, today I would say that we're soaring. Got a lot of great clients. Projections look good. Excited about our upcoming retreats. Already thinking about 2 years from now, what retreat we're going to do. I have my center in San Francisco, our Thriving Women in Business Center. So now we're really at the soaring period. I'm even thinking about, okay, maybe I want to work less. I mean, I'm still going to do my thing, but what would a few hours less a week look like? What would 10 hours less a week look like? Expanding my team. So that's all. We're in the soaring part of the business. There have been challenging times, of course. The thing about having a business is that it is your path to personal growth and transformation. That
So true.
you do have to face your fears. You have to build confidence. If you're not confident, you're not going to be able to ask anybody to hire you, right? And if you don't look at your numbers, you'll get in financial trouble. You don't get the support you need, everything will fall on you. I mean, the truth is that the biggest challenging time was when I was married and I realized, or my husband had to tell me that he had been taking money out of our accounts and my business was in jeopardy. And um, that was tough. And part of it was, Elle, I have to take personal responsibility too, because, he said he wanted to uh, pay the bills and take over paying attention to all of that. And I was happy to let him do it because I really like the selling part. I like talking to the ladies. I like speaking and networking and doing all the, let's get more clients. But I wasn't paying enough attention on the back end. And that's something and so these days, with my PTSD from that situation, I'm really emphasizing with all my clients about, okay, yes, we want to be of service, but, do you know your cost of goods sold? Do you know your cost of services sold? Do you know how much is coming in the door for the next 6 months? Do you know how much it costs every month to run your business? Are you
Yeah.
are you paying yourself? Are you looking at your numbers every day and every day, really? I mean, almost
So
every day.
important.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So important. I'm sorry you had to go through that experience, but it's a learning. Yeah. Yeah. It's
It's a
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I feel so much stronger on the other side,
Yeah.
and even and like I said to you earlier, our business is our school and our path of personal growth and transformation. And having gone through that, I learned that I am a determined woman. I never,
Yes.
I never would have ever used that word to describe myself before. But now I feel like, okay, any challenge, I can work through it. I can figure it out. It gives me much more of a sense of personal power in my life. And I don't want other women to have to go through that, but I do want them to feel empowered around their money too. And
Yes.
and we think about, body confidence and health confidence and even, being able to communication confidence, but we don't think so much, Elle, about money confidence. And I
Mm,
really want women to have money confidence. How much do you have? How are you managing it? How are you protecting it? How are you growing it? These are all things that I want women to have their attention on. And you, if you have a business, your business better be thriving financially. Otherwise, you're not going to be money confident or thriving in your life.
yeah. So good. I love money confidence. Money confidence. I love it. And I have to say, coming from a different country was completely different for me. It's been such beautiful growth being in business and unlearning some things. And I have to say, before I started building my business, I was never a money or numbers person. I was never a numbers person. But I'm so thankful that I have become one
Yeah,
once I actually started building. Isn't that so interesting? And now I love looking at them. But when I was on a salary based as an employee, it was kind of at the front of my mind. It was never, it was just I knew that specific amount is coming every month,
right.
stable, and then it's different. and now it's, yeah, and it's just, you get so excited, money coming in business. I love money confidence and the whole idea behind it. So thank you for sharing that and bringing that into, yeah, and I definitely can relate to the importance of that being, for women, having gone through divorce and separation and all those. It's just so important for us to be able to be, yeah, to be, like what that means for me, to be knowledgeable. And yeah, so good, so good. Love that.
And
I love
Elle,
that.
I know that community is very important to you, and you have a great
Yes.
community with Women of the World, which
Thank
I'm honored
you.
to be a part of. And also, I want to say that having great girlfriends, I call them our business besties, having business besties, other gals that are on the same path as us, that we can talk to about all these things is really, really important. And women really thrive in community. And I want to encourage women to have several communities where they feel great and they can connect with gals to be a part of.
Yes. Yes. I agree. Thank you for bringing that up. So important. Yeah. And thank you for being a member in our community,
Well,
a lifetime member.
yeah,
Yes. Thank you. I love that. So we are on Women of the World Network, Choreograph Success podcast. And I like to take this holistic view to abundance and love, money, confidence, of course, as the wealth, and but I also love to take this holistic view as to all the areas of our lives, because I believe in abundance. I believe that I can be abundant in all the areas and just really having it all in my life. What does choreograph success mean? Like the phrase choreograph success means to you, and to you now, especially after maybe as a maybe as a different thing from what it used to mean earlier when you were starting.
Yeah, well, I like to talk about consciously curating our life. And that's what choreograph success is to me. For example, one of the things that helps with that is having a criteria for who gets to be in your life. For example, what are the values that we have that we want the people we're hanging out with to have? What's like, for example, I want people in my life who are positive, who are kind, who operate with integrity. These are the kind of people I want in my life. And these are the kinds of clients I want. These are the kind of vendors I want. These are the girlfriends and the community I want. I talk to women about it's a privilege to be in your life. Not everybody should get in the door. They have to meet this criteria because people that meet your criteria are going to enhance and uplift your life. And people that don't meet your criteria are going to create stress. They're going to bring your life down. And Elle, I'm not saying that we don't all have bad days and even bad periods, and but we all have a nature. And some of us have chosen, I've chosen to be loving and kind and operate with integrity. I've chosen my values. And some gals have chosen drama as their,
Yes.
way of being, or they're snarky, or the kindness is not their value. And so they can be themselves and do their thing, but not around me. And so
Mm.
that's when you talk about choreographed success, I really want women to recognize that knowing us, if we're running our life, I like to run my life with the attitude that I want to uplift everybody that I talk to. The guy who brings me my groceries, I'm wanting to uplift his life as well as my clients and friends. That when we're consciously thinking about how we want to be in the world, and we're consciously thinking about who gets to be with us, and then we create a criteria, that now we're starting to choreograph or curate our life. And as a result, we do that in each area of our life: our home, our work, our health, our vacations. And as a result, then we start to live the life we want. And we have to look at also, what do we complain about? Because whatever we complain about is an unstated request. So
Yeah.
if we complain about so and so is always late, well, you're the one who's letting them be in your life. And maybe if you simply said to them, hey, I would love it if you were on time, and you made a request, they wouldn't be late anymore.
Hmm.
And this is something for us to start to look at, consciously curate our relationships, consciously curate the aspects of our life. And to me, that's what choreograph success looks like.
Love that. I love that. Yeah. I love how you brought that up. Because it's so important. Relationship, such a big part of what we do, and relationships we build. I just recorded a podcast, relationships in bloom, for April, and I was saying, and it's interesting. What I've learned is some people, they're just not on the same path with me. It doesn't mean, and I'm still going forward. And it's, and it's just so important to recognize that, because I need to create space for people who, right here with me on this, in
Right.
this part of my journey,
Right.
at this point in my journey. So it's so interesting how that is, but it's so true, so true. I love that. So, my friend, we're going to go into rapid fire questions
Okay.
next.
Rapid fire questions. How exciting.
Yes, if you're ready, awesome. You sound like you're ready.
I'm ready.
So, yay. Okay, awesome. I love it. My first question is, what is your morning ritual or practice that you're happy to share with us today?
My friend, I totally laugh because I have been trying to consciously curate my morning routine for quite a
Uh-huh.
while. And I will not say that it's 100%, but I will say one of the things I do is I wake up and I say, today is going to be a great day and everything's going my way.
Love it.
And that's something I'll say to myself throughout the day too, but definitely in the morning. Today is a great day and everything's going my way. And I do think about, okay, we're doing this today. I'm going to be on the podcast with Elle today. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have fun. And I think about every activity that I know that's already happening. I'm teaching this class. I'm going to be high energy. I'm going to uplift the women. And then, oh, I'm going to see so and so. Okay, we're going to have a great time together, to future project, but not like far into the future, just for the next 18 hours. Future project what I want the day to be like. I do that. If I'm on top of it, I'm moving, either lifting weights or on my treadmill. At night, I like to bounce on my trampoline. It's a little tough on the spine to do that in the morning, but I love trampoline. You know what? Elle, that my dad is 94, and we just got a ping pong table for him. So
Oh, I love that.
he doesn't live with me, but we've started to play ping pong some afternoons, and it's very fun.
Oh.
You'll definitely be laughing a lot. Well, we spend a lot of time picking up the ball. We're not that great yet. But anyway, that's one of the things I make sure I do in the morning.
I love that. He's so sweet. I met your dad, I remember. I mean, both of them, of course, your mother was as well. Ah, awesome. I love that. I just imagined riding after with your dad after that ball. Love it, love it. Okay, so a place in the world that shaped you. A place in the world that shaped you.
Well, definitely Italy. You probably know that I
Mm-hmm.
lived in Italy
Mm-hmm.
for a year, and I've been there many times. And we have family still there. And yeah, I'm second generation American, and I speak a little bit. I speak Italian, and definitely not just going there as a country, but also being influenced by the immigrant experience. The Italian immigrant experience has definitely had influence on me.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah, awesome. Italy is still on my list to visit.
Okay,
um,
come with me next year. I'm doing my retreat there
yeah, yeah, yeah. When is it?
in
When is
September.
it? September. Okay, awesome, awesome. Um, One word that describes the woman that you are becoming. One word that describes.
I'm becoming. Two words: on fire. But I also want to say it's really if I got it, I don't have a tattoo, Al, but if I did have a tattoo, it would say uplift. That it's really my intention to be an uplifting force.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay, music, a movement, or stillness, or a combination of those? What do you prefer?
Love movement, stillness, not a big fan of.
Yeah.
What was the third one?
Music, listening to
Music.
music. Mhm.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
like women empowerment music. I like Pink.
Yeah.
I like, women run the world. I like stuff like that, makes me feel good.
Yay, love it. Okay, my final question is one non-negotiable for aligned success.
Well, I think the one non-negotiable is integrity, operating with integrity. You're not going to be in business for more than 5 minutes if you don't do that. And of course, you want to feel good about
Hmm.
how we operate in business. Yeah, I think integrity is definitely the non-negotiable. And to make it even simpler is like always do the right thing. Sometimes it
Yeah,
costs money, sometimes you lose money. Doesn't matter. You always do the right thing.
so agree, agree. Thank you for playing.
Anytime, that's fun.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and so what is next for? What do you want to share with
Yeah.
us today before we close
But
our conversation? Mhm.
yeah, I consider myself a woman on a mission,
Yes.
supporting women on a mission to be themselves, do their thing, serve their people, and also massively monetize their mastery. My focus, of course, is teaching women to sell authentically in a way that doesn't feel salesy, to show women how to use speaking to grow their business. And I love to host retreats. We have a mastermind retreat coming up on a cruise ship where you're with gals for a whole week. And masterminding is really fun when you're together for that long and connecting and making friends. And I also have lots of free resources on speaking, on selling, on business overall. And then when you go to CaterinaRando.com/links, you can get all my free resources. You can also get to my podcast and my free upcoming workshop, all from that page, CaterinaRando.com/links.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. And we'll post links in the comment section as well of the YouTube video and Spotify. So yeah, check those out. Caterina definitely has a lot of resources on her website. And and thank you so much, my friend, for taking the time to have this conversation. I know we had, but it's been a while, so I'm so glad that we're doing this. And as a refresher, and it's always great to talk to you, and building businesses together. And so as we close, if there is one truth reminder that you want women listening to us today to live with.
Yes, I want every woman listening to hear that you have massive value to bring. There is a lifetime supply of people to serve. It is your job to be loud and proud about your massive value so that you can sell more, you can serve more, most importantly, you can uplift more lives and have more impact with the amazing woman you are.
Thank you. Yay. I'm looking for a heart. I don't know where the heart was. Thank you, Caterina. Good to talk to you today.
I love to you. Always
Love to you.
Thanks.
Yes, you too. Thank you.